Good afternoon and welcome to Omnibros Live on a Sunday. And I'm Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault, joined as usual by Gabe Loves 90s Comics. Gabe, how's it going?
What's up, Jess? Happy Sunday, everybody.
And we also have a special guest that we're interviewing today, and that's Mike Firth. Mike, how you doing?
Great. Thanks so much for having me on the show. This is awesome.
We're going to talk today in a couple minutes about Mike's book that he's written that is, I believe, a Kickstarter campaign. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a Kickstarter. It's going on right now from Arledge Comics. They're using it kind of as pre-orders to get the word out.
Okay. And I have read the comic, and we'll show pages from the comic and talk about it. But first, let's talk about InStockTrades.com, our fabulous sponsor, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. At the end of every month, they're kind enough to give us a gift certificate for $50 to give away to a lucky fan that's watching. $50 or more in an order, that gets you free shipping in the United States, which is amazing. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Love those guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we sure do. So, what's the name of your comic, Mike?
The comic is called No Going Back. It's a YA graphic novel, aimed at like teens and stuff, but definitely something that I wanted to be enjoyable to anybody out there. Maybe not 5-year-olds, but any of us here should enjoy it as well. Yeah,
I read it and I enjoyed it a lot, and it's on Kickstarter, and it has a really beautiful illustration style, as Gabe was just saying. Where now you're the writer. Where did you find your illustrator?
Well, a few years ago, I've been working on this book for a very long time. The initial inception was back in 2012, I want to say, when the idea first came up. And then probably about 2015, I got this idea like, oh, I should do this idea. I should really make it happen now. So I went on the now defunct Pencil Jack forums and just said, hey, I'm looking to do a pitch with people. Got a whole bunch of amazing submissions, but among them was this one artist who just seemed absolutely perfect for the book, Anna Wierzyk from Poland. And we started collaborating. We started working together. We did a pitch, like a 10-page pitch. Unfortunately, at the time, we were like, hey, I want to get this out there, but nobody was willing to kind of like invest the money in us. So we kind of invested the money in ourselves and made the book. And it was awesome working with her. Her artwork just like is this amazing, dreamy, clearly manga influenced, but gorgeous stuff to work with.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. I'm going to show some of it real quick.
Okay, good.
And also, just so everybody knows, in the chat, I found it, is the link to Mike's Kickstarter.
Oh, good job.
So the link is in the chat. You guys can hit that up, show Mike some love, support this book. Get your wallets ready, because when I show this artwork, you guys will be like, yeah, I'm in. I'm ready to buy this bad boy.
It was really cool.
A copy of it. Yeah.
And the story was interesting, too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were first working on it, Anna was like, we were trying to talk about like, oh, do we do this in full color? Do we do this in black and white? And we kind of came up with this nice black and white with traditional manga screen tones, occasionally spots of red,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see like the zipatone being used on it. It's there's some work put into the art for sure.
Yeah.
And now this is when our heroine is discovering life outside the wall.
Yeah, so like the whole story is kind of centering around Rebecca here, who like she grew up in this like post-apocalyptic community that had just walled themselves off. Like everything goes to hell, and they're working class people. They're like, we can build things. So they build this whole wall around their neighborhood And Rebecca is born into that. So everybody's like, oh, it's dangerous outside. Don't go outside the wall. Everybody's crazy out there. But, you know, she's 15, 14. She doesn't know what it's like out there. She's never seen. I mean, by this point, like, things have died down. So she just is like, it can't be that bad out there, can it? And then, of course, she finds out.
How big is the book?
It's just over 200 pages. 201 pages, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because we are in the middle of it here, and this is great.
Oh man, she killed it. It's like it was amazing. Like, so I've worked a little bit as an inker, but this was my first time working as a writer for a comic book, and it's amazing. Like, I would send out, you know, I write the stuff, and like, I'm an artist, so I have these images in my mind, but I tried not to like influence Anna too much. I just kind of I sent her the script and said, you do you, and interpret this the way you want to interpret it. And I would get pages back, and I was like, I never had thought about that angle or the way she's portraying this or that, and it was amazing.
I love that she discovers a library and ends up living in it.
Yeah.
I mean, all of our fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, if the apocalypse happens and I can hole up in a library, I'll be very happy. As long as they have a good graphic novel section.
Right. And she encounters other survivors along her way. First of all, she gets a pet.
I mean, if you're going to be in the apocalypse, you got to have a dog.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise you're not living life. She gets a dog. She meets other orphans. And, you know, we see that this world is like very, even now, it seems maybe a little empty, but there's still danger out there. You know, people are people, and they're not always nice.
But there's room for love, right? She finds a love interest, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, the book is really about. It's a really hard transition to go from being a kid to being an adult, and I just remember being a teenager and feeling like I knew there was something out there for me, but I didn't know how to get at it, didn't know what to do with it. And, you know, you're a teenager, you're like, oh, I know this love thing sounds cool, but is it?
Right.
Let's talk about the Kickstarter. Here, let me show the Kickstarter real quick for everybody, so we get everybody together with that. With the, you know, if you want, we could go through what the rewards look like, what the backing amount looks like, all that kind of fun stuff, because that's what's important with the Kickstarter. Let's talk about the good stuff we get out of it today.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a really strong start to the Kickstarter. I've been really happy with that. But yeah, the Kickstarter, we're not at our goal yet. Yeah, we're about like 70 or 75% of the way through.
Yeah, you're doing great. Wow, look, you need your goal is 6,200. You're already at 46. You just need that bump from the Omnibus collector crowd.
Exactly. And, you know, one of the things I'm trying to do, and so right now, as far as the rewards go, obviously we have like, you know, digital copies. You can get it and download it, put it on your iPad or whatever. But for me, you know, you can see behind me, I've got books. I want the book.
Yeah.
So we've got a soft cover right now. I think the reward for that is, or the pledge for that is $20. Gets you the book. We've also got higher tier rewards with like stickers. This really cool pin with like a red bird on it, which is a big symbol that we have throughout the book.
Oh, there it is.
There. Yeah. $30. You get the book. You get that cool pin.
That's what I want, the pin.
Yeah.
We've got like a sticker pack. There's a $45. You get the sticker and you get the pin and the book. And it's a 216-page graphic novel, trade paperback for $20.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's I think it's a good deal. I mean, I know we're talking about stretch goals already, so you know, once we hit that, you know, 6,200, we're going to start outlining our stretch goals. I know we've been talking about maybe having, because there's actually deleted pages in there that we had to remove for like pacing and stuff, so I want to put those back in there. I mean, I'd like there to be. We'll see how high we can get. Hardcovers are a little expensive to add as a stretch goal, but that's the stretch goal I wanna hit, which is, you know, ambitious, but we'll see.
Oh, you're speaking to my heart. Getting a hardcover
Exactly.
out of it? Yes, sir.
Oh man.
Well, yeah, and that's a good reward, that pin, because I'm okay with stickers, but I know lots of people. Well, Gabe's eyes lit up too when we saw that pin. The pin looked really cool.
Yeah, pins are cool. It's a physical thing. It's not a sticker where you use it once, you put it on your laptop or something.
Yeah.
A pin you can put it on your hat, you can put it on your jacket, you can put it on your backpack. You can poke your little brother, you can poke your little sister with it. It's multifunctional.
Exactly. Yeah, and you can see we have some more of the art up there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The pink and the red coloring too. Wow.
Yeah. Anna did this whole thing where it was like she integrated like watercolor washes in there sometimes, and it was a great experience working with her. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, this page is great here with the red, and then the last panel when she wakes up or whatever is the black and white again. Yeah,
yep,
that's cool.
How did you communicate with her mostly?
I mean, most of it was through email. You know, time differences and working. She's a busy artist. She kind of was doing this in her spare time, and you know, I think the artwork itself took about 2 years to complete from start to finish. There were a couple of months where she had to, like, you know, hop on another project because it was really a labor of love for her and me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
what's the release date for this? What are you expecting for the release date?
We don't have a firm date yet. Like, we were actually going to do the Kickstarter in the spring, but with COVID and everything, a lot of the printers that Arledge normally works with were closed. So now they're back up and running. I mean, the book is done. So there's no waiting for us to do more art. There's no waiting for anything like that.
Good.
The book is completed. I've read it back to front a few times just to make sure I didn't mess anything up. And, you know, so once the Kickstarter is done at the beginning of October, we'll be sending this out to the printers and hopefully have this in people's hands by the holidays. You know?
I liked,
great.
Yeah, that is great. What I liked about it was that it showed on the outside. Well, I like it. It showed the sort of paranoid inside circle inside the wall, and then once you got outside the wall, it showed the different. I don't know. None of them were typical cliches or stereotypes. They were all different kinds of factions of life that formed out there to survive. I thought that was interesting, and I thought that it was interesting that there was still a lot of infrastructure still in place, and like the library. And I loved what happened. Well, I don't love. I thought it was funny what happened to the troll toll taker at the bridge. I thought that was funny that there was still a bridge to cross, and some guy was trying to take money to which I can totally see happening in an post-apocalyptic world. Some guy setting up shop. You know, if you want to cross the bridge, you have to pay the toll or get shot or whatever. So I thought that was a nice touch.
Thanks. Yeah, I tried, you know, in it, it was like fun to explore. I didn't want to make any bad guys per se. You know, the people who are just trying to stay safe, they're trying to stay safe. And, you know, this guy is just trying to do his thing as a toll worker. It was important for me to like show that everybody had a reason for being the way they were, that the world had kind of beaten them down, because the world does that. You know, it really like sometimes puts us in bad spots where we really have to think about what's important to us and figure out creative ways of dealing with it, which in that instance was building a small rope bridge on a broken bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, and I come back to the the sort of the love aspect of it, how sort of awkward and difficult it was, and the very end I thought was interesting how it was handled. So I thought you did a good job with making it all seem possible and really real.
Thanks.
And still in that, but the art still gives it that sort of light touch feel to it. The kind of manga-esque artwork, but it never, it doesn't, it never, it always conveys the importance of the point, though, even though it's sort of light artwork. But
yeah,
good in that way.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I mean, credit and kudos to Anna, who would be able to go from, something really fun and lighthearted, and then switch gears very quickly, and all of a sudden you're like getting really emotional.
Yeah.
And with that also manga art, what really counts for Jess's sake is that it reads left to right.
Right. You can actually understand it.
Hey, Mike, let's
because I'd have a bigger manga collection.
if they just printed it backwards, man, Jess would have tons and tons of Billy shelves full of manga for sure. Hey, Mike, let's step back a little bit. We never really got a chance to really introduce you. Tell us about yourself. Like, what's your origin story? Like, how did you come across? Where did you come from? Where did you get brought up? Where did you first experience comic books? And how did you become a comic book writer yourself?
Well, I was born in New York. I grew up in Connecticut, out in the suburbs. And, I've been into drawing. Like, I grew up, I was the artist kid. And so when I was in high school, I really wanted to go to the School of Visual Arts for illustration and figure out a way to be an artist. And I kind of got cold feet. And, I'm reading comics this whole time. When I was like 11, my mom took me to the comic shop and I saw the McFarlane adjectiveless Spider-Man.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, oh my God. And like from that point on, I was at the shop like every week. I somehow convinced the shop owner to like give me I was like 12 years old. The guy gave me like a job cleaning for like $8 a week in trade. But that was enough for me. Like I needed my fix. So when I was in getting ready to go to college, I was like, I love storytelling. I love artwork with storytelling in it. But I switched over to filmmaking. So I went to school for filmmaking there. And I've been working in, TV and documentary and stuff for most of my life. Every once in a while, dipping back into comics. I got really into inking in my 20s. I worked with Nicola Scott for a bit. It was awesome. I mean, it was right before she kind of started hitting it big. And then she got, she got some professional inkers who were, long-standing veterans to work with her. But, we're still friends, and that was awesome. And I got to ink a story for Marvel, to a little 8-page Spider-Man story in that Breaking Into Comics the Marvel Way. And, that was like, what am I doing not having enough comics in my life? So I started going back and figuring out what I wanted to do. And I had some ideas that I had wanted to get into. And this was one of the ones that just, there was something about it that I wanted to get back to. And so I started writing that. I also have a YouTube channel, which I don't really do much with anymore. It's called The Comic Archive. I used to interview a lot of creators about their like artistic process, and that was amazing. The comics community is such a great community.
Who'd you have on the show? Who'd you interview?
Oh man, so many people. I mean, one of my first interviews was Joe Kubert, because here. He was over in Jersey. I just emailed him at the school and was like, hey, I've got this YouTube channel. I had like nothing to show for myself. And he was like, yeah, come on down. Nicest guy I ever met. And like, miss him because he was amazing.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Got to sit down with him, got to see him at his drawing table. And that was amazing. It just went from there, Kari Randolph is one of the guys that a lot of people loved looking at his work. Paulo Rivera used to like live 10 blocks away from me.
That guy's amazing. That Daredevil run he did with Wade is out of control. That's some of the best stuff I've ever seen.
It was because he was working on that at the time I was interviewing him. So I did like a time lapse of him drawing or painting the cover to issue 1.
Oh, okay.
And that was, I mean, you get that footage back and you're like, this is amazing.
That's so the cover number 1 with the birds and all the flap all over the screen or all over the cover. That's great. You got to see him do that, and you got like a time lapse video of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, if you go into YouTube, it's up on there. Just search for Paulo Rivera, Daredevil or time lapse. You'll see it right there. But yeah.
We have a question. Or is it okay if I ask a question, or are you still working on whatever you were talking about?
No.
I apologize. I had to leave. I had to get a second cup of coffee.
Do you have a coffee maker in your comic room, Jess?
I should. I had to go upstairs for it.
Oh, see, that's wasted effort.
I know. Yeah. You're right. I should have it in this room.
Yeah, get a Keurig, put it right there next to the computer.
Yeah.
You'll never leave.
No, you're right. I do have a bathroom down here, so you're right. I could conceivably make a living for myself down here. Live down here. Hooniverse Review says, what books are those behind Mike on the visible second shelf down? I think he's talking about the colorful covers. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, I think it's all those custom Green Lantern. Okay, this is turned into a Shelfie. Let's do this real quick.
Yeah.
Let's make this happen.
I was really upset that they did not include the Green Lantern Corps stuff with the Jeff Johns Omnibus.
Right.
I don't know what we're calling them these days. So these are custom hardcovers collecting the Jeff Johns era. It's got it's got obviously the main title with Jeff Johns, but also I needed the core. The core had to be in there. So this is one of my favorite runs. So this is everything up to the New 52, and I actually have the New 52 stuff at Haushen right now being bound.
Okay, because I see there's some more custom stuff. I need to point out, Mike. What's that? What's the Wildcat books you got back there?
Oh, let me show you those.
Yeah, I need to see that. I need to see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so these ones.
I didn't see those.
Yeah.
I see it. I see what it is.
Oh yeah.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. So obviously we got like this. I had these done before that Absolute came out. So just trying to put in like
all the ads. Look, you got the Starcaps ads. You got all like the image number 1 ads.
Yeah, I mean, look, these are the comics that I loved, literally the comics. So I wanted to like when I open them up with the ads, I'm like, oh my god, I remember being 13 and poring over the letters column and seeing all of that random stuff.
That's something that's missing from omnibuses. That's a crime. Is they don't reprint the letters.
It's part of the. I mean, like that was what we had before we had Facebook groups. We would write letters in, and I like how in the image books, especially in like Spawn, and I think some of the other creators were doing it too. But people would send in drawings, and every once in a while you would see like that person's name show up like a year or two later doing an actual book somewhere.
Oh, yeah, that's always cool.
Yeah. So this one's the Jim Lee, and then the when Claremont came in, this one is like the Robinson, and then the Alan Moore. This one I used like the trade paperbacks for these because I didn't have all of the issues on hand, and then I threw in the back the crossover with the X-Men.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's that Travis Charest art in there too.
Oh my god, that dude's insane. I love his work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also a big custom hardcover fan.
Man, see, now you make me want to do it because the whole idea of it being like your comics and those are the ones that you're holding.
I mean, it's your comics, and like honestly, when I was first getting into custom binding, a lot of it was I have these books in bags and boards in a box in a closet somewhere. I don't go out and I don't read them very regularly. So like I want something that's on the shelf that I can grab and enjoy, you know?
No, of course. And then you bound it yourself, and you get the letter columns in there. You get all the cool ads. It's the original art.
Yeah.
It's the original paper stock too. Well, not
Yeah.
the image stuff, but that's when they first started using better paper and better printing and stuff like that.
Yeah, those things, those bind pretty well. Those Valiant comics, I've got a few Valiant comic collections as well. From because nobody's doing Solar reprints anymore, so really the only way to do it is to bind it yourself.
That was a good comic. I love that comic. Yeah. Did you have a hand in designing the covers and everything on your Green Lanterns?
Yeah, I did that myself. It's they're all matching. I mean, you can see like I have like Blackest Night. I made the cover black, yellow for the Sinestro Corps War. I dabble with some design work. So I was like, I'll do this myself, and it makes it more personal, makes it more fun. It's like exactly what I want.
That's the most fun part of it. Of all the custom Omnis I have, is saying I want this to be the front cover and this to be the back cover, and I want the spines to look like this, and then you can have the spines. If you have 4 or 5 of the same thing, have an image. If they're all put together properly, 1 through 5, they may form an image. It's really fun to do. I did that with Blackest Night.
Oh, nice.
And Blackest Night is like 7 books practically. It was such a big 5 or 7 books. It was such a big event. But I did it with Flashpoint, and I did it with Batwoman, and did it with Brightest Day because I had the books and I didn't want to just throw them away. So even though people probably think I should just have thrown them away, I made that in like custom bound, and it's really fun. The most fun I had was with the Red Lanterns one that I had, because there were so many cool images that could be used for the covers on that.
Yeah. And it's nice too. I love doing the mapping. I love trying to figure out like how do I integrate these things into the story and like make the story flow nicely. Actually, one of the other things, speaking of my origin story, that I'm not famous for it or anything, but like you might know me. I did the since I have a background in video as well, I decided at one point that I needed an omnibus of the Marvel movies. So I edited them into story chronological order. So like, Captain America, the first Avenger, comes before Iron Man, and those flashbacks I would move, like Thor has those like opening flashbacks of like, millennia ago, my father Odin. And so I took those and put those at the beginning so you can watch. I did it for phase 1 and phase 2. You can watch them in the order they're supposed to happen and then intercut between them. And I find that
stuff into that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's incredible work.
It was a lot of work, but like at the end I had like a 12-hour edit of phase 1 that I could sit down and spend the whole day just like marinating in that world.
Where can people find that?
Well, I put instructions up on YouTube because I can't share the files. Marvel would shoot that down pretty quick, but I put instructions with like time codes and all that stuff up on YouTube so that you could take that, if you can find a way to like rip the movies from your Blu-rays or DVDs or whatever, and just find there's like free editing software out there. You can just like line them up and kind of like input it manually.
So the only way for us to see it is to come over to your house and buy you dinner and watch it with you.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I first finished it, I did that with some folks where I had like a little party where like I just put it on in the background and people came in and we, it's hard. It's like watching a movie for 12 hours is, this is beyond Lord of the Rings extended cut,
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I remember how much mapping strategy I had to do I did Green Lanterns, but I didn't mix it in with Green Lantern. I just did Green Lanterns themselves. So I'm balancing two Omnis at once, where I finish one thing and then I got to go to the other.
Yeah.
That had to be some serious mapping strategy to get both Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps all together in the proper order, because I can pretty much gauge where I'm supposed to go next in Green Lantern Corps after I've read the Green Lantern Omni.
Yeah.
But to map that all, that's got to be pretty tricky.
Yeah, I mean, for the New 52 stuff, I just read it like twice. I read each title and kind of made notes about like, oh, you know, because some of those had like crossovers or events, or like one character would show up in a book here and then go to another book. So I would make notes. I made spreadsheets for all of this stuff. Yeah. And then, and you know, like there's the Unbound comics group on Facebook. There's a lot of people who have been sharing their work there. So some of the early Green Lantern stuff, when it was just Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps, was easy to find some people who had already done it. So, you know, like I said, the comics community is amazing. I found that a lot of people love to share their passion, share the information they have, and whether that's custom binds or, you know,
yeah,
information on anything, everybody's jumps at the chance to help each other out.
Yeah, well, custom binds are so fun to do, and then you get the product, and then you've made your own book. It's really fun to do that. Of course, now you've made your own complete comic book from scratch, so you're not putting together somebody else's work. You put together your own work, which is pretty amazing. But to put together a big run of custom books, I found that really exhilarating.
Oh yeah, I did that for the Hickman Avengers before the Omnibus were released, and you know, it was a weird feeling because like they made different choices in terms of what order the books would go. And I know Hickman had input into that, but like I again had a whole big spreadsheet as it was coming out. I was reading everything, making notes about like, oh, this happened and then that happened, and like plotting everything out. And that's always the hard thing for me, is like I just put all this effort into this custom bind, but those Omnis, those official ones sure do look sweet.
Yeah. Did you use comics or trade paperbacks for that, or what did you do?
I usually go for single issues. I'm a big fan of like sewn binding, so like getting the single issues, you're able to do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's cool about doing the custom bindings. I thought about just hunting down books that will probably never get collected. Like I'm half tempted to really go out there and get some of the like Prime, or get some of the Ultraverse stuff that is just dead. You know, that stuff's totally never going to come back around. So yeah. I think something like that. I've thought about doing custom binds of things like that we know we're never getting a collected edition ever.
There's never going to be a Prime. Absolute Prime or Omnibus of Prime or whatever. I forget who. Marvel has that now, right?
Yeah, Marvel owns all that stuff, but apparently, I mean, I'm an idiot when it comes down to contracts. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but from my understanding, is they bought Malibu exclusively for their coloring.
Oh,
and it just kind of, I guess it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, we want to buy your coloring, and they were like, sure, but you can also have all of our characters, but you can never use them. However that works. Apparently they can never use those characters.
So Hardman? Or
what's that?
What do you mean they bought them for their coloring?
They bought Malibu for their coloring. I guess for like the coloring techniques that they were using, their computer, their software,
okay,
all that kind of stuff they were doing back then.
And the Malibu, that's where Prime comes from.
Yeah, that's where Prime's from, and all the Ultraverse stuff. Like Sledge and I'm trying to think about names. Midnight Man, things like that. Yeah, that's all from Ultraverse, and that stuff just buried. It'll never. They're not allowed to ever use that stuff again. Apparently,
I am extremely impressed because I have no idea what you're talking about. New stuff and the Malibu universe. When was that? Like the late '80s or early '90s or something?
Early '90s. Yeah. That's
Really?
back how the big boom started happening.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think Malibu is like sad because they were the original Image publishers, and then Image was like, oh, we'll just publish ourselves, and then they're like, where'd all our money go? So then you
Oh.
get Prime, and who else was there? Rune. They got Barry Windsor Smith in there for Rune.
Yeah.
That'd be a good omnibus to put together. But yeah, like I think those are the best stuff to collect, like stuff that's out of print or stuff that's incomplete, like the Green Lantern stuff. Like the omnibus, I owned them, and it was like, you know, every time I read them, I was like, I'm only getting half the story here. And there's all this great stuff with like Jon Stewart and Kyle Rayner. You know, I missed that.
They were doing the Kyle Rayner stuff, and then I think we got two trades out of the Ron Mars Kyle Rayner stuff, and then the third one got canceled, and that's it.
How many trades could there be of the Kyle Rayner stuff?
God, 6, 8. It's a lot. That series ran for like 200 issues or something like that.
So you could put together a couple of omnis of that then yourself if you picked up the singles.
Yeah. And then like some of the crossover stuff that happened with it, and like the one-off, and you know, because they did a lot of like Green Lantern and Silver Surfer, and Green Lantern and Superman, or Green Lantern and they did a lot of crossover stuff like that. So
one of my favorite omnis that I custom did was all of the DC Marvel.
Oh my God, that is so cool!
Yeah, I love that hardcover. How it's just not a dust jacket, but it's all printed on the hardcover.
Yeah.
I like them. As much as I like dust jackets, I prefer just doing the direct on it graphic ones.
See some of the stuff that's in there. That is a great book.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, you know, they printed the trades once and then abandoned it.
Yeah.
So, this was and I had the trades sitting on my shelf, and I was like, you know what, this deserves some binding. So I scanned in. I have a copy of the Superman, Spider-Man. So I scanned that in, made a nice, that's my logo. That's my DC logo right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the back cover, and the book was a little beat up. So when I scanned it, it had all of the markings of it, and I love that about it. I like that it feels like the old Treasury edition.
Yeah, that looks cool that way.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a really cool book.
And then I did the same for like the Amalgam comics.
Yes.
Like I don't even know if people would want a collection of this. We're not the best comics, but I wanted it.
I want it too. I have that Darkhawk or Darklaw.
I think people talk about Amalgam more than you think. I think I don't know if it would support hardcovers, but I hear them talk about it a lot.
Yeah, that's again one of the things that'll never happen. It's the DC Marvel agreement would have to go way too far for something like that.
Yeah.
Man, somebody's asking, is an omnibus Mike's preferred format? How does he feel about brick-like DC 50-issue books?
I love omnibus because they have the sewn binding. I love the oversized artwork. I love having that big hardcover on my shelf. I think DC has pushed it a little far a couple of times. Like I have Blackest Night, I have Fourth World. Like those are hard books to physically hold and read. But reading stuff in omnibus format I love that. And I love absolutes as well. Like absolutes are a lot of fun. I think making it like helps me think of it as like going to the theater and seeing it on a giant screen versus sitting at home and watching it on TV.
NFL Dude 56 has a compliment for you.
Oh, thanks, NFL Dude 56. Thank you.
Watching Mike's interviews when Comic Archives was active. Oh, he was watching your series back then. Your series of Paulo Rivera got me back into Daredevil.
Paulo's is amazing, and honestly, so I was really active with the Comic Archive for a number of years, and part of it was really inspiring, and wanted me to make something. So one of the reasons I stopped posting as much comic archive stuff was that it took up a lot of time. It was like, you're going out, you're lining up interviews. I was actually going to people's studios and things like that. I would drive out to certain places, and that just took a lot of time. And I said, look, I can devote my time to continuing the YouTube channel, or I can devote my time to making a comic. So no going back is kind of what happened. It's for me a direct continuity between doing the comic archive and then doing the comic. And I think, at the end of the day, I mean, it took me a lot of effort. Making comics is not easy. It's not quick. Especially, I had to do this in my spare time. Anna was doing a lot of this in her spare time. So we were never able to just sit down the way Paolo gets to sit down and just work on a book. We had to say, okay, I'm going to do my day job, make some money, use that money, funnel it into the book. And so, yeah. But I'm glad to hear that people enjoyed the comic archive. It was so much fun to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like such a cool idea. And I'm glad people are following that, man. Now people need to come back to you and follow you back onto your Kickstarter.
There we go.
And get that no going back. Get that thing funded. Like you said, you're going to probably have that out by the holidays once that's funded. It's already printed, or it's already done, which is great. It's always scary. Kickstarter gets really scary when the actual physical product is not quite done yet. So there's always that anima, or that hesitation of, is this really going to happen? Am I going to give money out and it's never going to go through? But I'm happy to hear that you have it done. You just need the money to print it.
Yeah, that's all that we're waiting on. And it's been done, for a few months. Like I said, we were waiting on COVID to settle down a little bit. Then there were protests. I mean, now there's fires. So, there might be a slight delay with shipping because of that. I'm sure we've all had problems with the postal service too. But yeah, I've had that happen. There's been a couple of comics where I'm like, oh, I want to see this comic so bad. And then you find out, well, the artist is just starting it now.
Yeah.
So.
I got a couple of those sitting in the wind.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I want that pen.
Yeah.
I'm on a goddamn Ultraverse custom buying now.
Hey,
go out and start buying those issues.
I got to see it.
This turned into a cool. We should do a custom bound how-to episode, Jess.
Yeah.
Because Mike seemed to know what's up, and I know we got some other people out there who knows what's up.
Yeah, Mike knows a lot.
I love talking about custom hardcovers almost as much as anything else. Once I remember, back in the day, this is probably 15 years ago, I was just trying to find out how do you even do custom hardcovers, and the information was a little harder to come by, and what companies are doing it. And now it feels like there's a really thriving community of people doing custom hardcovers. It's great.
I just like the idea that you get to do it's your design. I like the idea of designing it. I've seen people on the group who just make the craziest lineups of their spines, and the back covers and the front covers are all these really cool images. And it's just man, that just sounds like fun. Just hunting down the perfect image, slapping on a trade dress, and sending that thing out.
Yeah.
And then the mapping, and then also hunting down the issues that you need to hunt down as well. It sounds just like a cool project.
Well, right now my current project is the Man of Steel, the Burn Man of Steel stuff, and I'm holding off doing it because I'm crossing my fingers that DC actually follows through with this new line, because the hardcover, I got the hardcover that just came out and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's it's not an omnibus, and I know I would have loved to see that, but I'm kind of sitting on the issues right now, and if DC stops, I can then pick it up and keep it going.
That's kind of cool. You're that's fine, DC. If you stop, you stop. I got your back. I'll have a complete hardcover run.
Yeah.
The hardcover was a standard sized, right?
Yeah, it was standard size. But
so
it's
that way the books will line up then. The issues, same size as the issues, so the books will line up if you make your own.
Exactly.
Adam Knapp.
Yeah, we already got a fan.
Yeah.
There we go.
See, because I think that'd be fun. How, figure out, I'm sure people out there are curious on how to do it, or they want to do it themselves and just not sure where to start. So we might have to get an idea of how to make that work. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
My guy moved to Japan. That was Kirk Kiefer. He's who I would send my stuff to get I'd send all my issues, my singles to him, and he'd get everything prepped and all my choices. He'd ask for my color choices for the ribbon and all the thing for the cover, and then he'd ship it off to Houchin to be bound. But I don't know where I'd go now to do the Kirk Kiefer part. I know that I could go to Houchin to have it bound, but who's going to arrange everything and prep it for Houchin?
Yeah. So, I know there are people out here who are doing that, like Tim Benson over at Omaha Bound has kind of like taken up. He's really good at doing that.
Oh, okay. He used to be at Houchin, I think.
Yeah, he was there for a while, and then he kind of struck out on his own. I mean, he still works with them on stuff, but like he's got his own company now, and he does what Kirk was doing back in the day.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
See, we already got this started up.
Yeah,
there we go.
Check it out. We've already got you started. You go to what was it? Unbound?
Omaha Bound.
Omaha Bound?
Yep.
So you want to go to Omaha Bound with your singles, and they will send them to what, Houchin to get bound?
Yeah, he still works with Houchin, and but Tim does the whole thing where he'll like do the mapping, he'll design covers. I mean, you can do that. Like I do that stuff myself. So you can do it on your own, but if you're feeling like, oh, I don't have design skills or I'm not quite sure how to map it, you can send him all of your stuff and he'll take care of it for you. He'll do it all.
Kirk's help with that kind of stuff.
All right. So next Sunday, let's make it a custom bound episode.
Yeah, I'm down.
Are we going to have Mike back? We might as well.
If Mike can make it, maybe we get some other people too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody else in the community who's into the bounding?
Well,
bounding, bonding.
Omar's really into it, but Tim's a member of the group.
Yeah.
The Omnibus group. Maybe we should try and get Tim on.
I'm sure he'd be down for that.
That'd be good. Get Tim on. Because we can't.
Yeah, I'm already thinking, like, maybe taking my book and getting it custom bound, being like, just, I need it hardcover.
Sorry, the Kickstarter didn't make it, so I'm just going to do it myself.
Hey, that's what I do. Like, if I don't have something, I make the custom hardcover. If I don't have my book, I make my book,
Yeah, make your own absolute.
Yeah.
You got all the files. You could blow those up into oversize.
I could.
Great.
That's great. Cool, man. I think we got to do. Look at that. We're 10 episodes.
There we go.
Do we want to show some shelfies? Mike, would you like to sit in with us as we look through some shelfies, or do you need to go?
No, I'm here. I'm good.
Do you want us to show some? This is hard to say. Do you want to show some shelfies, Gabe?
I do want to show some shelfies. Sell some seashells down by the seashore.
Yeah, show some shelfies.
I like it.
Let's see what we got here. Did we do this one? Give me a second. I don't know if we did this one or not, but let's just start from because we only got a few left. So let's just start from the top.
Oh, is this from the first wave? We've only got a few left?
We got about a dozen left.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. This is a Dylan W. Let me pull it up here. I think Jess will like this immediately. Knowing Jess. Screen share.
Nice.
Look at that swamp thing, Jess.
Yeah.
Thing? What is that?
That statue. That's a sideshow.
Oh.
That thing's huge.
Yeah, look at how massive that thing is.
Oh.
Let me zoom in a little bit. Get closer on the shelf, closer in the books, and that monster of a statue.
That's awesome. Now what's the stuff on the side there?
So what I can see is, I don't know if this big green thing is, but this is a PS4 off here to the right. And then these are chainsaw controllers. that, if I remember correctly, Resident Evil 4 on, it was either PlayStation or the GameCube, had a player 1, player 2 custom chainsaw controller.
That's awesome.
And I think that's what those are.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And they're all blood spattered, and you can see like the blood on the handles and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so scroll down and take a look at the shelf. Oh, there's that signed Gail Simone Red Sonja omnibus.
What?
Jess.
Not mine yet. Damn it.
Okay, so Sandman's got all the Sandman absolutes. I've been thinking about getting those, but some of them are falling out of print right now.
I don't have all of them, but they are some of the most gorgeous hardcovers I own.
What happened here? Give me a second. Excuse me. There we go.
You just got backed by somebody by Bobby Keating on Kickstarter, Mike.
Thanks so much, Bobby.
That's awesome. Good job,
Yeah.
guys. Keep it going. Let's see this thing. Get into some stretch goal territory.
I love it.
Kingdom Come, Preacher, Court of Owls. There's those Goon hardcovers that are just.
Those are getting to be impossible now.
Yeah, number 3 has always been impossible, but Hellboy, Big Damn Sin City. I'm not sure what that tiny little book is there next to Red Sonja. See if I can figure it out.
Whoa, that's
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. I love the Fantastic Four figures in front of the books. I also love.
Yeah, I was about to say.
All the Conan stuff is great. Those are really hard, especially these those Dark Horse ones there.
Yeah. And I appreciate that he has the Barnes & Noble Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, I didn't notice that. He does have that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got that one, and then they put out the like official omnibus from Marvel, and I was like, oh, do I upgrade? I already have the exact thing. It's the same size.
Yeah, I remember seeing it when that thing first came out. I go, what the hell is this thing? Who would ever read comic books this way? And now I got shelves and shelves of them. Silver Surfer. That Silver Surfer omnibus is beautiful.
Nice one.
Yeah, great stuff there. See, he's a big Swamp Thing fan. He's got the Brown Day Swamp Thing. He's got the Alan Moore Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
He's got the Snyder Swamp Thing. The whole Swamp Thing shelf almost, I think, all the way down here.
I don't think I'd ever seen the Sideshow Swamp Thing. That's amazing.
Oh, the statue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
gorgeous.
thing's crazy. Yeah.
With the little pop right there.
The thing about the statue, too, is they did something to it, some kind of varnish or something where he looks wet.
Oh.
They make it where he looks all shiny and wet, so it's really cool effect on it. Let's see what else we got going on here. Some Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I remember that game so well.
I'm not sure what these books are. Or these little like, paper craft things are.
Those are cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something you never see on anybody's shelf. Is those Tom Strong hardcovers.
Yeah.
You rarely see those on anybody's collection.
Those are great.
America's Best had some of the best comics. I loved what Moore was doing. It seemed like he just like decided, I'm going to have fun for a little while.
Yeah.
I can't tell what the ones are next to it, though.
Those
those
are the Superman, like Earth 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Batman Earth 1, Wonder Woman Earth 1, Teen Titans Earth 1, Green Lantern Earth 1. So those are all those Earth 1 books.
Yeah.
I forgot they did so many of those. I don't ever see anybody with the Miracle Man books on their shelf either.
I think a lot of us were waiting to see if they would do an omnibus of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they talked about that from the beginning. They said they were going to do one, but
Yeah.
that never happened. Now I'm sad.
Oh, it looks like he's looking for number 5. Is it number 5 he's looking for of Irredeemable? He's got 4 in there.
He's got 1, 2. Yeah, number 5 is the only one he's missing.
Ah, poor guy.
Got some Grendel and Shadow. Got some Grendel stuff here. I love these shelves. These are kind of just like you're like, you know, oh, this is mom's shelf, or I found these on the side of the street and I'm going to repurpose them as awesome shelves. Way down here on the very far left, there's some manga here. Got some Smash, got some Ito, some Devilman. Those Power hardcovers, I love those Powers hardcovers.
Oh yeah.
I need to get whatever is not included in the omnibus. I know that there's not going to be a second Omni, so I got to get the hardcovers that are not included in that first Omni.
I think the first Omni is I want to say it's the first 3 hardcovers, because that omnibus was the first 32 issues, like the first season or whatever of Powers.
So I need to get like 4 through 7.
I think so.
And then you need to get them custom bound to match the Omni you have.
That's right.
Yeah. And then you gotta get the Powers. What was that Powers hardcover that came out like a week or so ago?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Best ever or something?
Best ever, yeah. We got Harlane here. Shout out to Stefan Shej. Peter David Hulk here. He's got the PS4 Death Standing Collector's Edition.
Mm.
And Behold Galactus book. That thing's a monster.
It is. I got that, and it's almost too much.
Yeah, it's pretty relentless. I think I have it too. Yeah, it's the same size. No, it's almost the same size as the Jack Kirby Fantastic Four Artist Editions. Like, they're just these monster books. All right. Got some cool toys up here.
Oh yeah.
Soundwave. Yeah, dude. So I was looking at, was that Soundwave? I don't know if that's the original, or that's like a reissue, but I always wanted that G1 Soundwave. Got a Jelly Belly here. You got Jelly Bellies at your house, Jess? I think you have a jelly bean machine or something.
I don't have any Jelly Bellies.
No.
I do have Punisher with the guy tied down to the pinball machine, though.
No, that thing is cool. It reminds me of that video game. I think it was on the original Xbox, where you just had like fatalities in it, where you could just wreck all the bad guys and kill them.
Where is that thing now? That was such a cool piece, and I don't have it up, I don't think, because it took up so much room. I got to think of where I put that.
He's got a bunch of those Hellblazers. 22, is that all of them? I don't know how many Hellblazer trades there were.
No, I think there's more than that.
Yeah? Jesus. What, I think it was like, what, 350 issues it ran for?
Well, maybe. Yeah, I actually don't know, because I collected the later runs in the original, and then I collected the first runs.
All right. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Man, this is making me think about all the stuff I need to get.
Like what?
Well, I've never gotten into Hellblazer. I've like little dips in here and there. Love to get into that.
I love that book.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to think, where the heck? I remember specifically having that pinball machine with the Punisher, and now I can't think of where I put it. Because that is so cool. The guy's got like a grenade in his mouth.
Yeah.
Way over the top.
Oh, ow. All right. Oh yeah, I like the little action figures he's got up here too. He's got a little constant
sure.
figure. He's got the red Mega Man helmet. There's some more manga. This must be his manga shelf.
Okay, so Ciantre is saying that there will be 26 Hellblazer Omnis.
Omnis or just these
Right. Yeah,
trades.
Trades, yeah.
I kind of want to get into that, but I don't know if I want 26 of those things. I'll just grab the Warren Ellis one and the shoot trade paperback they did or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they did a Hellblazer Omnibus recently, right?
Yeah, I think it was Garth Ennis.
Yeah.
Oh, he's at the Fanny Gauntlet box set. Good man.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. Look at that thing. That thing is awesome.
I'm always torn with those box sets though, because it's like, the box itself is really cool, but then it's like I have a box. Do I put the box on the like it's a tricky proposition for somebody who likes everything organized very well.
Yeah. So yeah, do you put the box up there, or do you just take all the hardcovers out and put them on the shelf?
Yeah, like I have the Akira box set is gorgeous, and I'm like, I like this box itself. It's a nice box, but I like those books too.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday on our campfire on our Patreon hangout. Somebody did that. They just took the books out of the box and displayed the books that way.
That campfire was fun. Where did you end up going? As soon as I got on, you left.
My internet just stopped working.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, remember I was all sketchy, and then it just stopped. I tried logging in and out like 3 or 4 different times.
Oh.
And each time I did, it just sent through my internet. Maybe because it's DSL. I don't know, but it just seems like every day, like at 7 p.m., it just gets all sputtery. So,
yeah,
how'd it go?
Oh, it was good. It went for till almost 10:30.
Jeez, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was mostly Ryley and I talking about when I visited him. I found pictures of when I visited him in the toy museum, and
You guys got haircuts?
Where we got haircuts, and the candy store we went to, and so we talked about that.
That's cool. Man, I missed out. That sucks. Stupid internet. Always ruining everything. But it was all right. I was hanging out with my kids. We were counting, so that was fun.
All right.
Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah, 23 is the newest. There's going to be 26. Oh, man. I kind of want to get into Hellblazer. Just talk me out of it, Jess. Oh, you're the worst for that.
I can't because I love it so much. I think that if you just do a couple every month, every other month, get a couple, just slowly build it up. I don't think those are going to go out of print. I highly recommend all of it.
What did they do? What did they start doing omnibuses of them, Jess? What did I do then?
They started with Garth Ennis.
Is that the first one?
Yeah. But I'm happy.
I mean, no, but that's not the beginning, though. That's Hellblazer 41 through 50. It starts. And then it's kind of all over the place. So, no, that doesn't make any sense. It's 41 through 50, 52 to 83. Damn, that's a lot. And then it skips to 129 through 133, Hellblazer Special, and then Heartland #1.
Okay, so it's all the Garth Ennis stuff then?
Yeah, it's just a Garth Ennis book.
Yeah.
And for those people that are touchy about it, it's also labeled as Black Label.
Oh. Yeah, I love Hellblazer, so I had no problem. I didn't buy them all at once because that is a big bite.
Yeah. I'm not going to get an 80-pound box to my house of Hellblazer trades.
Right. So
I say that now.
At a time, and I had already collected a bunch of the old trades. That I stopped reading physically around issue 150 and started collecting trades from then till issue 300. And then I sold my singles and then just started doing the trades they issued.
Yeah, because I was reading it back like right before Warren Ellis took over. And then Brian Azzarello, I think, was on it for a while, and Andy Diggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I enjoyed everybody's run. I know people like some more than the others, but I enjoy every. It's one of the few books I've read from start to finish.
that's a lot too. Well, how many was it? It's like 350 issues or something it ran for, didn't it?
300 it stopped. Yeah.
Damn.
Stopped right at 300.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, and if anybody else wants to hear Jess talk about how he spent time at Ryley getting haircuts and visiting candy shops, don't forget to hit us up on Patreon. We do have a Patreon. It's we got 2 different special tiers for all of our viewers. We got a tip jar where you just throw a couple bucks in there. A lot of people always ask us how they can help contribute to the show. So you can always just throw us a couple bucks to thank you that way. We always appreciate it. And then we also have our second tier, which is our big, awesome $5 a month tier, only $5. And you get to hang out with our campfire tier, which is what we did last night, which is a private gathering hangout with your favorite Omnibros and your not favorite Omnibros as we talk after dark. It's Omnibros after dark. No topic goes untouched. We answer any questions. It's just a fun hangout time. We get some people in there who just want to hang out and listen to us talk.
Yeah.
They don't really, get into the conversation too much themselves, and other people just run with it, and it just turns into a really cool hangout where we really get to meet new people, develop some friendships, and it's great stuff.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah, it's so. I was really upset. I was like, damn it, I wanted to get back on there and hang out with those guys because it was awesome. We had Nathan was on there, Martin was on there, Ian was on there, Greg was on there, Zach. Ryley was on there. It's rare for Ryley to show up to something cool like that.
Yeah. Was there somebody named Gary on there?
Yeah, Gary was on there.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary's a cool guy. We talked to him for a little bit.
Okay, good. He didn't say much when I was yapping about the candy store, so I didn't get to see his name at all on the call.
So that's one way you guys can back the show and get a little extra time to hang out with us. It's once a month at least. We do the campfire hangout, so that's always fun.
And if you'd like to buy any collected editions that are in print that we've talked about, you can go to instocktrades.com where
like Hellblazer.
Like Hellblazer, exactly. You can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. IST is kind enough to give us a $50 gift card at the end of every month to give away to a lucky viewer. And I'm gonna make it a contest this time. I'm gonna try and figure out somehow how to make people use their brains and figure it out and not just some random number thing. $50 or more in an order gets you free shipping in the US, which you're gonna need this upcoming week. If you tune into us tomorrow night, you'll hear all the Omnis that are coming out, and there's going to be a lot this week, I think. A lot of
it's going to be a killer week, dude. Tomorrow's going to be a killer previews.
Yeah. Let's see, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's instocktrades.com. And that reminds me, Emily probably sent me the email and what's on for sale, and I need to go look at it. I haven't looked at my email in like 2 days. So,
did she actually send you the discounts?
Not the discounts, but what they have that's up for sale for the week.
The 50% off stuff.
No.
Oh, you mean just? Oh, okay, just the list.
Just the list. Yeah,
okay.
She sends me that through email.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, and Mike, where can everybody find you at?
You can find me on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, at the Comic Archive. I'm up there. Our Kickstarter is running right now. Just Google, search for No Going Back on Kickstarter. That's how you can support me. Looks like we got a couple of people already. And I'm very active all over the place.
Very cool. Very cool. And thanks again for coming in, Mike, and giving us a copy of the book and coming on here to speak about it. Man, I'm glad to see that we got some people who hopped on. So hopefully this helps and gets you pushed to that goal. And everybody get that pin. Get that badass pin.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree the pin is the real reason. You get the book, and that's fine, but it's the pin that you really want.
You're like, man, I got a free book with this pin.
Well, thank you guys so much.
No, man, we
Great.
appreciate
Great
it.
having you on.
And Jess, where can people find you at, buddy?
They can find me, Omnidog, at Omnidogs Vault on YouTube and on Instagram, Omnidogs_Vault.
Everybody, follow me, Gabe Loves 90s Comics on Instagram, and you'll find me here Sundays and Mondays on the Omnibros show. So, yeah, there we go.
And Jessica, I would encourage you to just send them another email tomorrow, just asking politely where your order is. Let's see, 8/23. Yeah, that is almost a month now. So have you checked that have you checked your account to see if it's been picked and scanned? Because sometimes one book can hold up the whole order. I know that happened to me with the Godzilla book. This held up the order for a week or so. So I think they're just super swamped. Just send them a polite email, and I Emily gets like 500 emails every Monday. She shows up, and that's what she's got. So, just my advice is just to try and be patient and polite, and just send them another email and ask the status of things. That's the best advice I can give you.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all in a rough spot. They're all very super busy, and we understand that. So I'm sure they appreciate your patience. But yeah, just if you wanted to send them another email and see what happens.
Yeah, I think I remember when I talked to her, she said that like every week is like Christmas week now. As far as the amount of orders they're getting, for some reason they're just overwhelmed with the amount of orders. And it's like if you remember Christmas week last year or Christmas holidays, they had big sales and got swamped. And they said this whole summer has been like that. Oh yeah, it's not lost, Jessica. If two have not been picked and scanned, I think that means they need to get them on order from Diamond, and they're just waiting for those to come in. Because books that aren't like readily available in the warehouse, I think they have to wait for Diamond to get back in stock. So that may be the hold up.
I think I'm in that same situation too, where I ordered 2 books. One of them wasn't available anymore, so they asked if I wanted to substitute it with something, and I did substitute it with something, and I don't think they had that in stock, and I think I had to wait for them to get it in stock. So I got something held up waiting for something else, because I substituted with the Red Hulk Omnibus, and which is awesome. But I don't know why I didn't buy that the moment it came out in the first place. But I don't think they had that. If your order isn't all brand new stuff, like that week's releases worth of stuff, you run into the situation where they might have to order it for you, which might take up to 2 weeks for them to get it, and then they put it in with your order, and then they ship it all out together. So that happens a lot. If you have like 5 or 6 new items, and then one item out for your wish list that you were kind of, been waiting for the extra cash to get or whatever, and you put that in, they might not have it in their warehouse, but they have to order it through Diamond. Diamond sometimes takes a week, maybe a little bit more for them to get it, and then it goes out. So that sounds like the situation you might be into, Jessica. I'm not sure. We have zero input or insight into IST, but from our experience, that's really how that works.
Yeah. That's just us as customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just us. Like, man, I don't know how long you've been shopping with them, Jess, but I know I've been shopping with their main company, DCBS, for like 15 years. I've been with my wife 15 years. So probably about 17 years. I've been with DCBS in stock trades. So, yeah, dude. And it's awesome seeing them go from just how they were 15, 17 years ago to what they are now, especially with in-stock trades having Christmas weeks every week.
Yeah,
man, that's I'm very proud of them. I'm very happy to see that, and I know that they must be just overwhelmed
Yeah.
And then I'm sure them taking on DC as well adds to their
right.
adds to their amount of work as well. But it's so cool to see that there are our sponsors for so long and that they are staying busy. They're gonna be busy this week, dude. I don't envy those people right now at all.
Yeah. I'm glad we're having this conversation because I need to go look at my email right now and get that pinned up on the collector.
On the group. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and get you out of here, Jess, so that you can do that.
Peace and love.
Everybody on the group, keep an eye on the next pinned post. It's going to have the new releases, the release dates from IST that Jess is going to get from Emily. And join us. Do we want to do this next week, Jess? Do we want to do a custom bound episode next week?
Sure. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, let's pencil that in, everybody watching, because this is Omnibros. We'll come up with an idea and then something might fall through. But
yeah,
in the near future, there will be a how to start your custom bound project.
We can do it next Sunday and have like a couple shelfies alongside it, since people like shelfies too. Dude,
the shelfies. And if anybody else wants to send us shelfies, omnibroslive@gmail.com. If you want to send us pictures of your collection, we'll go through it. We love looking at it. We love seeing how people do their collections, the way they organize it, what kind of shelves they have. It's like super minutia nerd stuff that we get into, as you saw here. So bring those up to us. We're almost done with the first wave. Second wave is some good stuff too. When we first do, Jess, you know how we've been doing this since before the quarantine?
We have?
Yes, this started like I want to say like February.
Oh my gosh, I would have said it's been going on for like 3 months.
No, it's been going on like 6-7 months. It's been going on almost all year. That's how much stuff we got. Could we at least show like 2 to 3 shelfies a week?
Yeah.
I mean, we missed a week here and there. It happens. But yeah, keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming. I swore when we did this, Jess, I thought it was going to be like 10 people will send us their shelfies. Like 7 months worth of shelfies. It's amazing. All right. So with all that said and done, guys, let's get out of here.
Thank you to everyone.